So with recent Extreme Z Awakenings and such, the question is, are units like STR Gogeta going to receive one? I would imagine that at some point in time, he is going to get one because he was technically part of the original God Leads. And they obviously are just going to stop with, you know, the Mono Lead, so to speak. Because of course so far we've had Goku, Frieza, and we've also had, who's the other one? Broly, and we still have Ultimate Gohan and, you know, the Cell in the tank. And I would imagine after that, we are going to move on to units like Gogeta, maybe even Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Beerus, just so many options for potential Extreme Z Awakenings in the future. And I thought STR Gogeta was the first real unit that dominated the game. And I got in touch with Mobile Man, as, I mean, if you go on the subreddit, you know who he is. He does a lot of the calculations for the hardest hitting units in the game, and just talks about the optimal teams based on damage, of course. So a big shout out to him. I got in touch with him a while back, honestly like 2 or 3 months ago, maybe even more. And I asked him, how much of an increase would the STR one need to get in order to be on par with the intelligence one, or even better, you know, because we know for a fact that they go up to Super Attack level 15. Their stats get higher. Just little details like that. Let's go over the cards real quick. So, gives the free key to all types and a 3000 attack increase. This is most likely going to go up to a 50% stat increase, maybe even 70%, because that's what they changed the full power Frieza and such into. You went from the free key and 3000 attack to free key and a 70% stat increase, which is on par with the original 70% lead. So he already causes immense damage. He doesn't lower attack and defense, but that's not that big of a deal. Like, the important thing is that he causes immense damage, and he also has a 12 key multiplier of 150%. Now, this is where things are a bit interesting. And you're probably thinking, well, his flat out, like, his attack increase is a flat out increase. But that's not that bad. And I will show you why in a few moments. And of course, he has the effectiveness against all types. Playing set's the exact same. So he gets a 7000 attack increase, which in this day and age isn't that much. But the one thing that puts him above most units that do have a flat out attack increase is the fact that he has the best potential system buffs in the game, as well as the effectiveness against all types. If we compare the stats real quick, and of course the main one's going to be attack, 17,760. And then Gogeta. Oh wow, it's legit 1,000 less. Huh, that's kind of funny, not gonna lie. So yeah, his attack stats are 1,000 less, but that is going to make a massive difference when it comes to their, their damage output. Now, the Gogeta gives the free key to super rare types. You know how it goes, okay? The 120% lead, immense damage, lowers attack and defense. Of course, that lowering attack and defense is a 20% reduction, as you can see right here. 120% to attack. And that seems way, way bigger than what the STR one gets right now. His link skills, Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, Over and Flash, Fuse Fighter, Experienced Fighters. And that's going to make a big difference when it comes to damage output, to be honest. But because it's not necessarily that much of a common link, when it comes to his best possible team, it's not something that you're going to take into account that frequently. So this is the fusion team right here. And I believe the only other unit with experienced fighter is maybe... No, not Pandel. The Barlock, maybe. I'm going to have a quick look here. Yeah, so we have the Barlot, I should say, not Barlock. Maybe he has it as well. Okay, so you have this Gogeta with experienced fighter as well, which is fair. So it's fair to say that's going to be somewhat common, which is a 10% attack increase. So you're adding that to what the intelligence one can already do. So right now, the intelligence one is clearly in the lead. Of course, you can run the LR and these two on the exact same team. Well, you can't run these two on the same team alongside the others. But the point is, you can still use the STR Gogeta alongside the LR one. Now, the question is, how much of an increase does the STR Gogeta actually need to be on par with the intelligence one, as well as maybe even surpassing him? So now moving on to the Discord, and this is basically me asking him how much of a percentage increase he would require for him to surpass the intelligence type, or at the very least, what would a flat out attack increase get? Of course, like I said before, we already have the STR one with the better potential system buffs. He could potentially, well, if he gets the potential Extreme Z Awakening, he is going to go up to Super Attack 15. His stats are going to get even higher. So, Super Saiyan 3 Goku got a 28% increase to his base attack when he got his Extreme Z Awakening. Assuming STR Gogeta gets the same attack buff, he would need exactly 50% of his attack for his passive to be in... for his passive to be in Gogeta. If Battler kept it as a flat out passive increase, it would only need to be a 31,000 attack increase for him to beat the Intelligence Gogeta while they are under the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta leader skills. Let's go by this particular scenario. And it definitely is interesting because it doesn't seem that he requires that much of a percentage increase to be better than the Intelligence type. Now, are they going to change it to a percentage increase if, you know, he does in fact get it? We don't know that, because they did change it with the Broly, but it's hard to tell, because they can just stay with a flat out attack increase to ensure that the Intelligence one stays better. But at the same time, they may want the STR one to be on par with him at the very least. But in saying that, let's say you don't have the Intelligence one and you only have the STR one, and he does get an Extreme Z Awakening. He could still be very good and almost close enough to the Intelligence type that you may run him instead. If that makes any sense at all. So let's say you don't have the Int one, you have the STR one. You're not exactly losing, you're missing out on much if you use the STR one instead, if that makes any sense. So he doesn't need that much of an increase really in order to beat the Intelligence type. You know, even the flat out attack increase is great, because if you take a look at units like Mask Satan, if I'm not mistaken, they have, well, he has a 50,000 flat out attack increase. Yeah, there we go, 50,000 attack increase. So it's not completely, you know, impossible, because we have seen it before in the Mask Satan. But it's just more likely that he is going to get a percentage increase. And I believe, to be honest, because it's Gogeta, I don't see them giving a Gogeta unit a low percentage increase. So it's very likely that they are going to give him a flat out attack increase that could potentially be on par with the Intelligence type, if not better. And of course he goes on to say, other than the passive, the two units are basically identical. In Gogeta has 600 more base attack, and STR Gogeta gets the additional 5 crit, because of course he is an STR type and the Intelligence one is in. Which roughly evens out that advantage, pardon me. 12 key multiplier, Portent links, and super effective damage mechanic are identical. If when STR Gogeta gets an Extreme Z Awakening, he'll have a significant advantage in base attack. He'll retain his 5 crit advantage, and he'll have a massive advantage with his super attack multiplier, since his will go up to super attack level 15. Unless his passive gets a very minor boost, it's very likely that he'll surpass in Gogeta, in my opinion. Bandai did make Agility Super Saiyan 3 Goku superior in attack and defense to the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku, so it wouldn't be surprising if STR Gogeta ends up being better than the Int one. And that's a good thing, because they're making the older units relevant, and I would imagine that quite a few people have the STR Gogeta, you know, in their box still. They just don't use it that much because they have their Int type. And it goes without saying, but it's kind of funny because they're like, oh yeah, someone for this new great unit, this Intelligence Gogeta. But you know what, we're going to make the STR one better. But you know what, it is what it is. I think it's dope that they are potentially making the STR one better than the Int one. And he doesn't even require that much of an increase. Even if he doesn't get that required increase that allows him to surpass, you know, the Intelligence type, he is still going to be an absolute monster of a unit. Even right now, you can easily get in the millions. I'm pretty certain that he isn't too far behind the Intelligence type when it comes to damage. I think it's like 400k to 500k. But of course, if he is going to be getting an Extreme Z Awakening a few months down the road, it definitely is going to be something cool to see. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Personally, I think that it's dope that, you know, STR Gogeta isn't that far away from surpassing the Intelligence type. I know it's going to annoy a lot of people, because it's like, what's the point of bringing out a new card if you're just going to make him worse than the older one? But it just comes down to what they're doing with the game. Ultimately, they are still both going to be incredible, and let's be real here. For being completely real, it doesn't matter which one you use, because you're still going to body event. That's just the way it is. I think it's dope that they are making the older cards better for the free-to-play side. This benefits the free-to-play side more than anyone else. So, I'm curious to see what they do in the future. But another thing, which I forgot to mention, is Tech Vegeta Blue and STR Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black are coming to the global version of the game. And because of how expensive those are, I highly recommend that you go over to Infinity Stones And just check them out. Honestly, if you have any issues, they have great customer service, and they will basically answer any of the questions that you may have. And this is personally the service that I've used for the longest period of time, and I personally recommend that you do use it, just because you're saving a lot more money in comparison to how much the stones cost in game, and because you can get unlucky from time to time when it comes to pulling certain units. Obviously, it's gonna put a bit of a dent in your wallet, especially if you don't get them. So if you want to be a bit cautious, so to speak, and try to save a bit more money when it comes to summoning for particular units, go over to Infinity Stones. We'll leave the link in the comment section down below. But yeah, check them out. These are the prices right now. Again, 180 stones for $45. That is significantly cheaper than what it normally is for that amount of money. Wait, how much is... I think normally for 190 stones, it's legit that amount. So you're legit... I said legit like 10 times though. So you're getting way more value for your money. So yeah, if you have any questions, just be sure to DM them. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know your thoughts when it comes to the Gogetas. Are you happy that the STR one could potentially surpass the Int one? I personally am, just because of nostalgia. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.